Are we born with knowledge of the world, or do we have to observe the world to know it? How does sensation and perception work? How does memory work? What is the significance of dreams? Why do we act the way we do? These are some of the questions that Aristotle asked and are still being asked today in psychology. Aristotle, now on the philosophical roots of psychology. Just before Aristotle's birth, the wheelbarrow and catapult had just been invented. Aristotle was born in a royal family. He traveled to Athens in 367 BC and became one of Plato's best students. Aristotle tutored Alexander the Great when Alexander was a child. At age 48, Aristotle founded the Lyceum, which could be considered one of the world's first universities. Although Aristotle studied under Plato, Aristotle developed strong disagreements with his former teacher. For example, Plato believed that the true nature of things, including humans, could be understood through pure thought. In contrast, Aristotle proposed that by observing specific cases in nature, for example, specific persons, we can infer underlying laws or principles. Aristotle put an emphasis on sensory experience as a way to learn about the world. This is called empiricism. In contrast, Plato emphasized rational thought, or rationalism, as the path to knowledge. Other than making observations of the world, why is Aristotle important to psychology? Let's look at his understanding of sensation and perception. Plato distrusted the senses, but Aristotle believed that the senses provided very important information about the environment. He believed that different objects activated movement in different media. For example, the experience of vision is caused by the specific movement of light. It is the object that creates these light movements. This is in contrast with the alternative view, that objects send off small copies of themselves. Aristotle's interpretation reflects that more modern view that sensation involves the processing of material substances. Aristotle is also important to psychology because he proposes an early version of what we now call self-actualization. He believed that the highest human purpose is to engage in active reasoning. Active reasoning involves identifying first principles, or what could be called the laws of nature. Active reasoning is the greatest source of pleasure and represents the highest human potential. This idea of people having some inner potential is reflected in Maslow's hierarchy of needs and the proposal of other humanistic psychologists. Aristotle also proposed a theory of memory that we can relate to today. Instead of viewing memories as something implanted in us at birth, as Plato proposed, Aristotle believed that memories were the recollections of past sensory experiences. Also, we remember things through making associations. His law of contiguity proposes that we are likely to remember things that have occurred together. For example, when we think of roast turkey, memories of grandmother's stuffing come to mind. We now know that memory works through association. Did Aristotle understand dreams the same way Freud did? Not quite. Aristotle believed that dreams are a series of images created by past experiences. The images are fantastical because they are not organized by reason or grounded in sensory input. This interpretation of dreams is more similar to the cognitive, rather than the psychoanalytic view of dreams. Aristotle also believed that the apparent prophecies experienced in dreams were simply coincidences. What motivates us to act as we do? Is it the gods intervening in our lives? Is it reason? Aristotle said that our emotions cause us to act in particular ways. For example, fear motivates us to run from a threatening person. Experiences that bring enjoyment are likely to be repeatedly sought after. The role of emotions in motivation theory is still important today. For example, Eysenck proposed in the 1990s that anxiety motivates us to detect threats in the environment. To summarize, why is Aristotle important to psychology today? His theories of sensation, self-actualization, memory, dreams, and motivation may be interpreted as rudimentary versions of modern psychological approaches. In addition, Aristotle used the term catharsis to describe the purifying release of emotion when Greek audiences viewed dramatic plays. Breuer and Freud, 2,000 years later, also employed the term catharsis to describe the emotional release that occurred during the talking cure. Finally, Aristotle's emphasis on making observation to understand the world became the philosophical basis for modern science and modern psychological methodology.